And welcome back, everybody. A new week here at the Welsh Esports League. My name is Edgio, and I'm joined by Maddante. And today, it is time to see the artists back again here in Overwatch. And honestly, after, taking some time, making sure everybody was eagerly waiting their arrival, the artists have been penalized for the first time in the season. So, Maddante, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, checking the watch, checking the non-existent watch. Whether they were caught up doing something, maybe another tournament or something, we will not know. But yes, we will now be jumping into Hollywood, so we will be skipping the King of the Hill. We will be going straight to the hybrid maps. Puffins 1-0, congratulations to them. So this is actually just the decider for Group A's placement, just between the artists and the Puffins. So Puffins with a little bit of a head start, and we'll have to see if they can, take advantage of that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the artists are the, big dogs in this tournament. They have been pretty much undefeated and now losing one map thanks to an FF because of their, truancy, I think is going to be a little bit of a problem here for them. So now getting into this next map here, as you put it, Hollywood, they do have some pretty solid team synergy with them. And of course, I have yet to see the Puffins this season, but if we do know the track record here, not a single team has gone up against the artist and walked away unscathed. So if you are the Puffins, you're going to be pretty happy about this, initial start. Let's hope that they're going to be able to move on with it into some successful plays. Now, I know that we are getting into this game relatively soon, so let's talk agents, let's talk heroes, let's talk who we are going to be taking a peek at here. What do you think is the strat going on with Hollywood right now?
So Hollywood, I mean, for anyone that hasn't been keeping up, Venture's obviously now back at kind of just jumped into the fold, and incredibly tanky. Yes, we are seeing them actually. Farah has seen so much love ever since she got essentially her little Hanzo dash as well. For anyone that's maybe a bit more used to the Overwatch 1 kind of style, Farah now has a little kind of jump dash to the left as well, similar to how Hanzo works. So quite a bit more mobility in the air, quite a bit more difficult to hit. And we do see actually Unisco setting up with the Widowmaker just to maybe prep for some anti-Farah strats.
Yeah, now, I did see the Puffins versus the Pirates last week. They did go 3-0, and they played fairly well. Now, they did struggle with some things against the Pirates, but the artists here are who I'm looking at, as we already see a lot of damage coming out early into this round, thanks to the Alari, which is just another new DPS healer. So let's see how they're going to actually keep this up, as that Pharah might prove a little bit difficult, but it's all on the back of these hit scans, all on the back of that Ashe if they really want to get through. And yeah, look at that, Alari just proving what I talk about with that early damage.
Yeah, really stole my days, picking up Jackie as well. Swoosh basically cleaning out this entire push. The dynamite's going to fall down, but actually, Wontom nearly enough to try and batter out some level of a regression, but will not be enough for them as the Puffins do fall down. The artists now able to walk away with quite a bit of ult economy for basically everyone, actually quite evened up there. Jackie was taken out quite early, so no sound barrier coming online at all soon. We'll need to get that farmed up for this next push, and the aggression from the side of the Puffins on full display.
Wow, I actually love the fact that we saw that Tracer just walking right onto the fire, but look at that. Oh, Lucio biting off more than they could chew, not going with their team, and what a shot. Kara headshotting it down, getting one, getting two, maybe getting a third here, but no, it's actually going to open the door for Havoc to clean it up, and Wompton, not wanting to stagger, jumps right back into the fray. Great play from there, but you look at this team, the Puffins, they've switched off quite a bit so far, going from the Pharah to the Tracer. You can tell that they're a little bit shaken up by this defense.
No, I was going to say, and one thing at least for Overwatch 2, you do keep the ult charge a little bit more than you did previously, but still you are sacrificing quite a bit of your ult economy there for that indecisiveness. Of course, the spawns are so close, so the Puffins really, if they can just get one or two picks off of it, and it looks like Havoc's going to get pushed through here, the rest of the Puffin team's going to collapse on top. What? The beautiful shadow step actually gets out from the shadows, just coming out, and Havoc just buying all the time in the world for the artists.
Yeah, and I think Keydog's just ignoring it at this point. They can't really do much. And look at Wompton popping an ultimate while his entire team's getting distracted by a Reaper. And Isaka goes in with the Reaper, getting the two flags on the sports in the back line, absolutely shutting them down. And Havoc actually gets 2 kills and continues the spawn camp, complete with a full-blown Death Blossom to walk away with. That is an insane play from this Reaper.
I can't believe that, and that goes to show there. Just you were mentioning it there, Kaiju, just in terms of the kind of stagger and maybe the lack of there's no lack of confidence from Kara, but in theory, you should just see a collapse onto the Reaper there. The Havoc is completely out of position, and then once Havoc falls, that's a main DPS down. Speaking of, Havoc just seems to be causing quite a bit of his namesake in the backline, sacrificing the Death Blossom just onto Jackie, but. Yeah, there's been no collapse onto the opponents, and just means they're able to look at how aggressive this defense is.
Swoosh, the Alari support just being the most upfront with it, doing some damage, but finally we might see them being able to push up. I will say that confidence and collapse that you were looking for, it fell short because look at Womton. He's only focused on diving and diving and diving, and he's the tank. He's leaving nothing for his team to back up with, and now you look at that kill feed, all the supports are gone, and everybody is just ignoring this very low damage dealing Womton. He's the last player to fall in that entire fight, and then it opens the door for Havoc again. It's a cycle here.
I think that is cycle's probably the best way, and we are seeing like the confidence here just to Havoc's learned that he's not being punished for this. Like, let's face it, this is not great positioning. Like, this is something that should be punished, should be kind of shut down, but if it's not going to be, then walk away with it for free. We're seeing Havoc and Isaac just fall down onto the opponent at all times, but now the Kiriko rush, this has to be at Wanton with a beautiful first pick. We're going to see Swoosh immediately fire up into the Supernova. Is it going to be enough?
Yeah, it's surprised a lot less damage being dealt here. Finally, we're seeing this team move in with the Winston and not have Havoc in their back end. Now, we do see one tick down on the point. Lots of damage, but Isaac is not going to be able to walk away from that. Huge picks here. Another ultimate, but Havoc, unfortunately, being behind the scenes, is now going to go down as well. And yeah, somehow in overtime, they managed to push past, and now it's payload time.
Finally enough, the hybrid part of the hybrid map now officially begins. We are seeing just, quite a lot of utility obviously spent there from the side of the Puffins. They do still have the Sound Barrier and the Pulse Bomb online. Well, if Linright's going to do it, but look at this. That's exactly what you were saying, Edu. We are now seeing quite a bit more in terms of Wanton's being followed up by Unisco, or the other way around. Key Dog's then actually in the backline as well, keeping that up and going. So with Jackie and the Sound Barrier online, there's quite a lot of utility here. Havoc really trying to, get the Wanton just down, but might not be enough now. Maybe having to consider a swap off the Reaper. Ooh.
With that Death Blossom, though, I think we're going to see at least a little bit more damage here first off, but it's going to be a tough fight. I hope that we're going to be seeing the Puffins recognize that Reaper's staying on a little bit too long. They should assume an ult's coming out, and look at that, a Symmetra wall to maybe cut it in half. Great utility usage, and there we go. A Sticky Bomb takes out Kara. What a great pick, and wow, Unisco keeps it going with damage, but wait a minute, they're not done. Havoc somehow managing to stay alive here with Isaka. Can still stall for time to get your team back on that point, but it is getting pretty much just pushed for free here, even though, Line Rex is picking up where the damage falls off, but Womton finally that diving in, and Death Blossom just getting used up. They have to switch soon.
Oh, beautiful triple there from Havoc and Linrax to kind of settle the score on the Key Dog. 56 seconds remaining now. Still a bit of util, still the Kitsune rush from the side of Key Dog, but we do look, we've got the Minefield and Bob ready for Isaka. Swoosh. We're going to be seeing that sunburst from the Alari. Nearly a beautiful pick on the Unisco, just barely gets out. Now Isaka is going to be dove. Able to keep themselves alive with the med pack as they rotate and the retreat just comes through. Now the high ground fight, it's all coming down. It's going to come down to this. 30 seconds left. The Kitsune rush comes through. What are we going to see from this?
Oh, that Bob is in perfect position here to just keep that entire rooftop protected. Unfortunately, there's just too much damage. This Symmetra, Meta won, beautifully playing it out. And I got to point out, Meta here was the MVP in his match versus the Pirates. So seeing that damage coming through, yet again, week number 2, this is looking pretty clean. And wow, Puffins might be going into a second overtime.
3 seconds left. The contest is happening. Wanton's just pushing through. The Immortality Field gets burnt. Havoc's able to bring down Key Dog. Wanton's going to jump back to try and protect the team. Havoc still actually fighting for his life. Manages to take down Key Dog as well, with him. Isaka just trapping Unisco in the corner. But look at the frags trading. It looks to be leaning the side of the Artists. It will indeed, and just barely stops the Puffins from getting point 2.
Wow, that minefield, the very last ultimate to be used in that game, just made it so the C9 was so close, but they fought till the very end. No technical C9, and the Puffins, unfortunately, did not get it right into that second point. So that could be a make or break for this round. Is the artists here, they are getting so aggressive, and yeah, they were punished for that aggression, but now they are going to be rewarded for it on this attack.
Very, very much so. Perfect. And now, yeah, I mean, and that's such a big thing. That's such a big deal, even just to the fact that the Puffins couldn't quite get that second point. That would have been, another 2 minutes or so on the timer for them to kind of walk away with it. So now the artists can do, I'd say, something that they think is quite realistic for them. I'd say, I mean, just barely getting that second point, I think something they are quite comfortable with. We will have to see how the Puffins do adapt in terms of this defensive side. The setup's not really changing too much. We are seeing Jack in the Brigitte and such, but yeah, it's gonna be hard fought.
I'm kind of curious as to what the Winston here is going to be bringing. I mean, yeah, you are going up against a Baptiste and you're going up against a Tracer, so the Winston might have a fair matchup there. Wompton has played mostly Winston in this season so far, if we take a look back at last week and now in just the opening game here. So I'm thinking it's a confidence pick more so than a, how good is this character actually going to be against, Havoc here.
I mean, Havoc has been very much causing it. We're going to have to see now. So Kara already kind of pushing through as well. Isaac with the backline. We didn't see this too much from the side of the Puffins because one was just kind of going through it, gets himself stuck through. The cleanse is going to at least protect it for a little bit. Now it's just the Tracer versus Tracer. Just hiding around the Mega just to see who can finally come out on top. The space, though, from the artist just looks very clean. It looks they've divided the Puffins very well, but actually, no, it's going to be the Puffins with the first frag.
Yeah, you got to win those 1v1s if you're going to be that duelist player, and now you're running into a real issue. Oh, so much high ground, and I love what Isaac is doing, just completely funneling this team into where they need, but it's those stragglers. It's the fact that Wompton gets to go behind you, take out 2 players, and yeah, this is a big setback here for the artist. So even though they were able to get so much space early, one little 1v1, one little duel, and it is all falling apart. Luckily, some players get out with their lives, but I'm thinking that we might need to see a tank switch here for Isaac, something that can actually help their team get through this choke point instead of just having him and this Tracer move on up. But wait a minute, they're just gonna walk right through it.
They are trying to keep that space. They are wanting that control. It's all coming down to Meta 1 versus Kara. The dive from Wantum again, absolutely beautiful. The Immort field's going to come down, and the rest of the team from the artist is going to at least collapse on to try and defend it. The Immo field going down is massive, but speaking of going down, Wantum falls, Swoosh with a beautiful shot on, and now, in theory, they've got the spawn advantage, they've got the numbers. If Kyra can pick up another one, that should be the Puffins falling.
Alright, let's see this now. I like this. We're seeing them slowly tick away. Kara making so much space, and Isaka just keeps pushing him back with that Wrecking Ball action. And Havoc finally taking out the Sim, but the Sim gets the ultimate down just in time. But I don't think this team wants to go in just because they have it. But no, they're going to continue to commit, but now it's going to be the minefield slowing him back. Wompton, though, this ultimate has been raging through, but unfortunately, it's not enough. An ultimate like this from the Alari should be able to just shut that Winston down. Lots of damage here, but holy, it is going to be the death of Puffins. They invested, what, 3 ultimates into that, and it's not really paying off at the end.
Yeah, the kitchen sink approach there. Very wisely done from Puffins. If you win, obviously, you shut the artist down. The artists have to kind of pull back. If you lose, you've still got quite a bit to work with in terms of the payload coming online. So, very wise decision, I would say, from them. Just unfortunate that it didn't work out quite as well as I'm sure they'd hoped. And what I really like here, just seeing Havoc immediately taking this aggressive push. Trying to immediately stop the Puffins from getting as much space, and that's something, to be fair, that we didn't really see as much on the other side. It did seem like there was a lot of space being able to get gathered by the artists, but wow, not going to be shut down, at least from Wantum and Co, as they collapse onto the artists. Kira, very over aggressive there.
I mean, Keydog just hitting those headshots took out most of that Tracer's HP, and then just lucky for Kara, flashed right into him. So what a little bit of a pick here. And Havoc, without Swoosh to continue that pressure, is going to fall as well. So their strategy of getting a little bit too aggressive here, especially with how much angle or how many angles you can hide around, I think this is going to have to result in some kind of change up here. And yeah, we're seeing it. Isaac falls. Kara now on the Cassidy can change things up a bit.
is. No, and the flashbang has been reworked slightly, so there is a bit more of a stun effect than what people are maybe used to. So not exactly you know, a shutdown on a Winston, but definitely stronger than what it was. If you've got Keydog though, getting that kunai into your dome, you're not really going to be too concerned about what Kyra can do. Metal One now just trying to keep the space with the Symmetra teleports dancing around. The back line of the Artis absolutely causing a nightmare for them. Kara, beautiful pick onto Unisco. I mean, if you're wanting your Cassidy to do one thing, it's to take down the Tracer, and that's absolutely been done. The collapse from the Brigival as well, Meta melting the remainder of the Artists.
Wow, and now it's just Havoc who's trying to make space, make time, but they got 2 minutes left and a decent amount of distance to travel. Havoc still, though, almost getting an ultimate here, might be able to commit to one, but TP's so far, gets out of that position. Just so good with these just shadow steps, able to completely change the plan here. And oh, look at that, being able to now reset their team. Havoc will be coming in with an ultimate soon, and I don't know, the Puffins, they're gonna have to just worry about their backline and their front line. Isaac, so much space being created.
That high ground's so important. Havoc falls down immediately, immediately buys time with the Death Blossom. Good for one. Isuka even protected with the Defense Mirrors as well. Incredibly good. The Primal Rage gonna have to be popped from Wanton, but already half health. Absolutely melting and will fall down. That is quite a lot of space now that the Artists are going to be able to build up. Not many ultimates used as well. I mean, only the Death Blossom. Basically every other ultimate online for the Artists. Meanwhile, the Puffins, they've got a little bit of climbing to do up that mountain, and they don't have long to climb.
Wow, great position for that heal. There's no way they're going to be able to break the heal. And now if you go out, it's just death. And with only 4 meters to go, High Noon's getting popped here. They're just committing everything. And yeah, luckily, we're not seeing a lot of damage being dealt too much here. But the ultimates aren't what doing damage. It's just Isuka, who's even as Baby Diva winning out the round. And yeah, that's going to be another point here for the Artists on Hollywood, tying us up 1-1.
A beautiful equalizer. Yeah, just very, very solid on the ult economy, very solid on the space taking. The Puffins, I mean, countering very well. I think, honestly, the main issue was just their initial attack, having Havoc just, well, Kyria his namesake in the back line. I think something that could have maybe been focused down a little bit more, you know, to prevent that one, and we are seeing pick him up there. Absolutely stunning work. So with that, 1-1 equalized, and we now will be moving on to, I believe it is just a good old-fashioned escort this time.
Yeah, good old-fashioned new map here for us. But I will say, the way that the Artists were playing, they had the confidence. They were actually able to get shaken up a little bit, having Kara swap not once, not twice, but 3 times there, compared to Havoc, who was on Reaper the entirety of that map, even against a matchup that might not have been that good. But to be honest, Havoc's, the mobility, you know, when I think of Reaper, you know, mobility is one of the back-end thoughts about that character, but when Havoc is pulling through with it, it seems completely different. The way that this player was able to make space just by baiting them, you know, follow the hook, you know, you almost had it. That kind of play style really led in well, and when you had Swoosh on the Alari being able to get behind the team, get in front of your entire team's offensive line, and just be able to support Havoc in their, you know, very namesake heavy play style, I will say this worked out very well in the end for Artists, and they were having fun with it, to be honest with you. They were playing things that weren't exactly their main roster strategies, but they still were able to learn and have fun with it. So I would be concerned if I was the Puffins, as even though they were given FF in map 1, the Artist knows how to turn this around.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's nice to have a point on the board, but you got to make something with that point. You can't, you know, that's only 1 point out of 3. If the Artists do decide to kind of, you know, walk away with the remainder of this, it's not really going to be too much of a factor that we are considering. The confidence just to kind of build off that on Edgy, I think, is such a big important point. I mean, it wasn't exactly what you'd expect from the roster, but they just seemed so willing and so kind of supportive of each other, and I think that's, you know, what we're going to be really seeing from the Artists particularly, even if the comps aren't exactly something you expect, even if they're not exactly, you know, a counter comp towards what the Puffins are playing. If you play confidently, if you play supportive with your team, that kind of micro like level, that's not going to matter until, you know, obviously the big kind of leagues. You know, at that point, if you're still playing what you're confident with and you're doing it in a comfortable manner, you're likely gonna you know, take away the W's regardless. So Puffins maybe needs to find out what that comfortable pick is and just abuse it, because yeah, it looks like the artists have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that we know that the map is going to be Rialto, talking about those comfort picks, talking about, you know, having fun with it, I can't wait to see what these chefs cook up in this kitchen, as Rialto is, you know, in my opinion, a very difficult map. Point one. I think this is out of all the payload. If you're on point one here on this map, you're going to be struggling. So I mean that for the attack side here. Puffins has an uphill battle and now a tied game mode. So looking at their team composition, seeing Meta 1 on the Bastion, it honestly is not a troll pick. If you see this guy hovering Bastion, he might genuinely be considering it, as it was one of the main reasons that they dominated the Pirates over in week number 1. So keep an eye on that Bastion idea. But I'm also keeping an eye on the fact that we're seeing Wompton still just rocking this Winston here, which honestly, I think that you might want to have somebody with a shield on this first point more than anything, but that's just my personal bias.
I mean, it's a fair point in terms of having the shield. One thing that I'm quite surprised by is, you know, going back to Havoc and the movement. Rialto, obviously, that bridge, you know, there's a lot of places to kind of knock players off. There's a lot of places to kind of give, but we're not seeing any Lucio boops. We're not seeing anything kind of there. There's nothing cheeky from the artist just to, you know, kind of make this a complete nightmare of a choke point. No Wrecking Ball either, which was a little bit of a surprise to I think, both of ourselves actually now. But we are seeing just the setup coming through tried and true. As you said, it's such a difficult first point. This choke is nigh impossible unless you have an incredibly consistent push, which, to be fair, that's a hell of a start.
Yeah, great start, and that's going to be a D-Mac Diva, setting them back a bit, but Meta 1 is gone. We do see Havoc doing a little bit of damage here. We have, though, just so much space created, and this first point, which I thought would be a struggle, doesn't seem to be much one, but wow, Kara, nice pick on a Key Dog, nearly getting the Ash as well, but the payload finally has come to a halt here thanks to Havoc, and now Wompton is just being staggered out, needs to try to back up to his team.
Yeah, exactly, and again, there's probably slap bang in the middle where the spawn doesn't actually really favor either side, whether it is the Puffins or the artist, just where the payload is. Of course, as it gets further away, then the Puffins are going to have a bit more of an uphill struggle. That is going to be the artist fully regrouped. Ultimate's going to start coming online. Wantum has been doing a fantastic job of getting that ult and that primal rage. Does really need to be shouted out. Havoc taking down Jackie immediately. That's going to be pretty difficult. You need that Brigade ultimate to get the armor, to get the HP, just to push through this tight choke. You'd mentioned it, Edu, just how important it is, and they need to get that done soon. We're already nearly halfway through this push.
Wow, and look at the reset from this payload. Going all the way back to a new choke point here is going to be very tough to get back on it. But look at Wompton just diving downwards and might be able to, yeah, just unpunished, takes out Kara there. And they're going to keep it going. Unfortunately, Isuka taking a very passive approach against this tank might be a bad idea. So much pushback here as the payload just keeps on moving. Now Wompton has that primal rage, and they could just push everybody off to guarantee them the first point, but instead they opt in for the Bob here, which might be just what they need to get it all the way through. But this is the final choke point, a map of 4 chokes in the first point. It's a little bit but they are staying alive. The Bob is displayed, and I don't think they're going to get it unless they pop another ulti.
Yeah, no, look, we're seeing Havoc here, really. There's the ulti pop, the Brigade, the stun as well. That's absolutely huge. Havoc could have popped the Q there, but instead not being able to get out Isuka as well. It's going to be D-Meg. That is going to be a pretty confident cap finally for the Puffins. Very hard fought. The artists committing quite a lot as well. I mean, we've seen the Supernova from Swoosh, we've seen the Kitsune Rush come through. Isuka not even having the opportunity to get the Diva Bomb just go through. Oh, looks like we've had a little bit of a glitch, so yep, we're gonna have to get a pause just very quickly there. Tech pauses, Jackie. We've got my one to start us off with a very solid start.
Yeah, very solid start there. But honestly, looking at the way that the game was going, I'm kind of concerned here for players like Isaka. This guy was MVP tank last week. And, what we're seeing is a very, as I put it, passive approach. They don't want to make a lot of space. They're really reacting to every time this Winston jumps on their team. But I would argue that they're giving too much space up, especially as the solo tank. It's Overwatch 2. You don't get the double tank. And, we're not seeing a tanky DPS like Venture. We're not seeing anything to really balance out. You have so many squishy hit scans like the Cassidy in the back line just getting punished by Wompton. So if you are going to be the artist, if you're going to be some of these players, you have to not rely on Havoc being the only player making you space.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing, I mean, particularly as well, like going back off of that, I mean, with D.Va as well, there's not much your defense matrixing against a Winston either. That Tesla cannon's going to go right through. You're not going to be eating many bullets or such. And yeah, the passive playstyle, I mean, what you would maybe expect from your D.Va at this stage is kind of a counter dive. You want them coming into your side, you then immediately jump in and kind of go for more of the squishier targets on the opposing side. We're not really seeing that too much. It does seem, as you'd mentioned, quite reliant on Havoc getting that opening pick, which he's been absolutely able to do, but if he's not able to do it fast enough, then all of a sudden, it doesn't matter as much, and as the payload gets closer and closer, and the spawn advantage obviously works more and more in their favor, that's something that does turn the tide. So I'm imagining that, well, if there's a DC, I'd imagine some of the players are definitely talking about either roster swaps or at the very least one character swap, because the Puffins are adapting pretty damn solidly, I gotta say.
Yeah, the Puffins, they're pretty standard here. They are the middle seed of our 5 teams for this season. They're seed number 3. Artists, of course, seed number 1. But the Puffins, they do have quite a strong playstyle. I think that they are putting a lot of faith in Wompton, and it's working, at least for our first wave of Rialto. It did fall off a little bit in that second map, but sorry, hiccups. But they should be able to go in. But wait a minute. I'm seeing some news here. Yeah, your eyes lit up. You want to full FF? Artists give up without Havoc?
What? Did Havoc's just fallen off and that?
Just wow. No time for a substitute. So instead of playing a 4v5, which the artists, if they hunker down, they might be able to pull through. But yeah, it looks like they're just going for an FF in our map 1, possibly. I mean, I gotta see that. I need proof. Okay, the artists.
We need full confirmation before we say something like that.
No way. The artists haven't lost a match in the entire seasons of this game, of this Welsh Esports League. So if it's an FF, that's the only way that artists will be taking an L today, or that's the only way that artists have ever taken an L.
Yeah, that it looks, from what we're reading here, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that if the only people that can beat artists are the artists, I think is the rule they're trying to kind of cement, that you don't beat them, they simply forfeit. And I mean, a W is a W. Congratulations to the Puffins.
Wow. And it looks like the reason why they have FF'd here is because Havoc left to go compete over for OWCS. So, wow, a little interesting turn of event there. Maybe if they showed up on time, they could have won before they had to leave, but that's just an observation in hindsight and reality. So, yeah, with that being said, we still have one more matchup here for us today. We're not done at the Welsh Esports League. No. We got a lot more games to be had. It's going to be the Wolfhounds versus the Pit Ponies coming up here. So any final thoughts regarding whatever we just witnessed?
Show up on time and check your schedules. I think really the only 2 points there. Very well played to the Puffins. I guess commiserations to the artists, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and honestly though, Puffins, in the short time we got to see you play, that was an insanely good start to Rialto. Yeah. So I'm feeling that the artists here this season might be shaken up a bit, and maybe it's the time for the Puffins to come in and take their spot. So with that being said, we will be sending it to a short break. When we come back, it is going to be the Wolfhounds versus the Pit Ponies. We'll see you soon. And welcome back, everybody, to the Welsh Esports League. Of course, the last match that we witnessed was an FF where the artists have unfortunately now been disqualified. So a big cut to their, seasonal paycheck. But with that being said, Maddante, I have to say, I'm a little bit curious as to what's going to happen next year at the Welsh Esports League as we have the Wolfhounds versus the Pit Ponies coming up.
Well, that's the thing. So, both teams have been made aware of this, and for anyone, of course, kind of going in, the artists were kind of the favourites to win. So all of a sudden, there's quite a bit more fire, I think, in both teams. In fact, all teams kind of going into this now. So if there were any kind of hesitations about, oh well, even if we win, we have to go against the artists, that has been completely shut down. It is now everything to play for. If there were any teams feeling a little bit less confident, maybe going against them, so it is very much all to play for, and it'll be all to play for in the first map pick. It is Nepal we'll be jumping into, which I'm very excited to see. Edu, maybe kind of run us through what we might expect to see, or what you might be expecting to see.
Well, Nepal is one of those maps where you have to focus on a lot of not only staying on the point, but not getting knocked out of the point. It's a lot of pushback. So Wrecking Ball, very good on this map, in my opinion. I think Wrecking Ball is one of the mainstays here. When you think about, your typical healers, then you start thinking about the meta. So first off, some characters might stay with Pharah's new slight tweak. Pharah's actually really good on this map, especially with how much verticality it has. And then, of course, I guarantee that we're going to be seeing a Baptiste here. Even an Alari is quite strong on this map as well. So pretty much anybody who has a decent amount of mobility and can save themselves from death, if we are on that second point, if we are on those, fall down the crevice ones. But overall, Nepal here, let's take a look at which version we're on first. And actually, this one is the one that I would love to see the Wrecking Ball on.
Yeah, no, I think that, I mean, it's such a solid, just get in, get the control. We do see actually the maze coming through. It's quite a symmetrical looking comp. Actually, we do see the Baptiste, we do see the Lucios, so not too much of a surprise there from the supports. Actually, I do say that no. Gwyn changing up to the Cassidy Genji. Oh, actually, you know what? There's no point even talking. It seems they're jumping all over the show. But yeah, I mean, Lucio, no surprise here. Get the mobility, get the speed, get the point as fast as possible. And ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping right into this.
Yeah, I'm also looking at weather on that May. May pretty dang good on this map, to be honest with you. It's just not a pick that you get to see very often, but we do see a Sojourn as well. I'm looking at this Genji. The second that Genji spots that May, you're going to want to switch off. That is a complete hard counter there. So I'm a little bit curious what the Pit Ponies is going to do, because this is going to be a probable reset, and what a great May wall to just make these players a little bit concerned about how they can get out of here.
False taking quite a lot of damage as well, and we're going to be seeing quite a lot, particularly from the Pit Ponies, and we're already seeing quite a bit of ult charge being farmed up. Suddenly, though, the very least using a lot of that from the BAP, the window actually nearly being online. It is basically going to be online. The Maywall cutting off quite a lot of the Pit Ponies, but not enough for any frags. The initial point control going to go to the side of the Wolfhounds. Suddenly does need to try and stay up. The window's already been burnt once. The ammo field dropping down immediately, and now the collapse. Is this going to be the first pick? We've yet to see anyone fall there. We finally have it. The first pick actually going to Pizza Lover and the Lucio as it just keeps going on from here.
Wow. Honestly, wow. What a great startup here from the Wolfhounds, and Pizza Lover on that Lucio could definitely be anticipating that pickup here. But you look at False still on the Genji, still having the same exact team. Interesting. I mean, I guess it's for the ultimate economy. One Dragon Blade can take out players like Pizza Lover and Suddenly, but I don't know. I dislike the commitment to the bit.
I agree with you on that. I mean, you've got an ammo field, you've got the ice block from May, you've got the sound barrier online, you've got, there's so much here that Wolfhounds can do to kind of shut down False. We are seeing the Coalesce come through from Dominus. We're likely, once that falls out, we're probably going to see this the kind of double beat drop. Here we go. Yep, the beats drop for the side of the Ponies. False just trying to see he can beat out. That's the ammo field gone. The Mail comes through as well. He's able to back out from that. Dashes back in, but not going to freeze. Just barely gets the dash onto. Oh my days! They've actually done it.
Wow. I mean, I'm sorry, False. Keep doing what you're doing. Pizza Lover here might be able to get out. Oh, the movement!
No way. No way.
No way. Okay, Pizza. All right.
Holy the schmoves.
23 HP on the way out.
And a dream. Oh my
Wow.
days.
And because of that, it's like a quick reset. The Lucio not getting staggered there means this team's already ready and rearing for a new fight.
So many ultimates online as well. The Dragon Blade, here we go, collapses on the sound barrier, just barely falls down. Gonna be just enough to save everyone. The anti-heal coming through, the crush, the pin. FML, yeah, gonna fall down there. The Earth Shatter, the solo Earth Shatter actually there. Burnt, but the Pony's just going to clean up entirely from it.
Wow, Pit Ponies. I mean, going in and having some fun with it. But now look at this. We are going to be seeing a Ramattra switch from the Junker Queen. I mean, seeing the Ramattra, I think it makes a lot more sense. It can do damage through the Rhine shield. And also, I think he's a little bit peeved about the solo shatter that just connected to his forehead. So, yeah, I'm a little bit happier with that change up. But overall, Pit Ponies, great DPS doing damage here.
Now the real cannon's going to be coming through if Mini Mythical can hit. There's no Ana, there's no damage boost, there's no nothing like that. You just have to rely. That's an incredible pin. Lemon just unfortunately getting squeezed for all the juice that he's worth by Lagalith there. And the frags are very equal here. Weather's going to just fall down to the Coalesce. Dominus, the track here. Lagalith though, we've basically been going 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. It's just going to be down to the Nemesis. Can this be enough? I think Affable got to be backed up by False. That is going to buy enough time.
Wow. And look at that, enough time. False is just, this Genji. Okay. You know what? I'll never question the Genji again.
Yeah,
ever.
we didn't believe, and yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh, a little slow-mo battle. No winner. Well, starting off, Pit Ponies, beautifully played. I would think Wolfhounds, though, is going to want something for that Genji. I'm thinking, you know, they have the Mei. Maybe add or get yourself a Winston. Winston on this point, very powerful. Much better than, I would argue, Reinhardt. But instead they opt for the Sigma here. And Sigma, I'm not too sure about how to feel about that pick on this map. As, you know, you can knock somebody off the point with a rock, but that's really it.
I mean, maybe you're just thinking along the lines of, because if False, I mean, the Dragon Blade there was pretty solid. He wasn't getting too much farmed up, but the less things that False can deflect, the better. So we are seeing, you know, Weather's got on the set. No, actually, we'll be jumping back, just doing a little teleport strat there. But we've got the Alari as well from Pizza Lover. So False isn't going to get too much in the way of the deflect value. Little bit surprised that we don't see a Venture, just because there's a lot of cheeky stuff they can do. But if you're not confident on Venture, then you probably do just want to stay away. Look at this aggression, though, from the Ponies.
Wow. I mean, that's what we want to be seeing here from Lemon, False, and this Ramattra. Great gameplay here. And yeah, that's going to be able to get the Pit Ponies the first control of the choke point. And I don't know if Wolfhounds is going to be able to really pick up the pace here. I think that they are going to need to do something for this tank, something to do damage. Because the thing about it, switching off onto Sigma does nothing against Ramattra.
No, he tickles Ramattra, even if most.
Oh, False. Taking some damage, but no, it's just too much. Suddenly he's gone. And yeah, they might have this shield, but that's it. Mini Mythical, able to take out one DPS here, but at the end of the day, it's just too much. This Ramattra is making free space, free reign, and Ramattra plus the heals coming out, there's nothing they can really do. The Lucio just standing next to him is all the healing they need. There's nothing that goes through that armor, and they're going back onto the Rhine. I think that's just a comfort pick more than what they actually need.
I think so. I think once you've the Sigma's been kind of shut down, as you mentioned. Basically, you know, just tickles the Ramattra, not going to find too much. So yeah, I think the comfort pick we are seeing. False though, I am pointing out, you know, the Wolfhounds, the plan has kind of worked. False is really struggling. It's still only 80% for the Dragon Blade, but when you've got everyone else getting this level of frags, I say that actually False, you know, living on that living on that kill feed with a beautiful team kill set up. The Nemesis mode is going to be online, and to be fair, actually, we haven't pointed out Dominus has been disgusting on this Moira.
So let's see this now. A little bit gross, but Dominus, I think, can do a little bit more damage here. And you look at the Wolfhounds, they have an ultimate. That Baptiste window might be able to get them around the corner, but unless they get on the point, that window actually has very limited spots to actually connect to a... Whoa. No one's turning around. They're just letting Ramattra bully him, and yeah, you can pin him, but yeah, how long does that last? I mean,
oh no.
What?
The soundbar is going to come through as well. I mean, yeah, the real gun kind of has to come through now. It's you know, all to play for here, but the shots aren't going to quite land. Pizza Lover, at least, though, going to take down Lemon. You need to land that. It doesn't matter, I guess, if Weather's able to do it. Gwyn able to finally put down Mini Mythical, and now it's just an absolute scrap heap to see what comes through. Lagless going to take down Ephemeral. The Immortality Field actually going to be enough. I think that's going to be enough to stabilize, unless High Noon can do something here.
I mean, pulling this High Noon out against Orion when you have so much places to hide, that's just, I think they wanted to swap off this this Cassidy here. And if they swap off Cassidy, I think they should be fine. But yeah, a hard reset here for the Pit Ponies will be coming through with False and Dominus also going out. So I hope that we're not going to be seeing Lemon or this Ramatra stagger a bit. But Wolfhounds building up some ultimates and working their way onto the point. The problem, though, that 96% is a big glooming error in the way of the Wolfhounds.
Oh, exactly. And you've got False now in terms of what you can deflect. That one fire strike's going to be charging up you quite a lot. We're not seeing the deflect just burnt just yet, but look, the beautiful sidestep in the Earth Shatter is not going to get too much. The High Noon's going to come through. False going to have to get out. Gwyn falls down to it. That's enough to get the Mythical as well. That's going to be enough, but quite a lot of utility and ult economy used there just to buy some more time.
Yeah, big setback here for the Pit Ponies. I better be seeing some switching up here soon, because they're not going to be able to get out of this choke point without the damage to do it. And I would think even just a Junkrat or something like that could build up an ultimate fast enough to actually still have some value ult-wise later in this round. But, you know, we're looking at this. They're just going to rely on the whole W strategy, and it is working at slowly pushing them back with False now popping the Dragon Blade. They're slicing some throats here, and then deflect. Oh, the Sojourn just got his entire team killed. Oh, no way.
That was clutch. I mean, in terms of what you wanted to see from False there, it may have been only one Dragon Blade, but when it was needed, it was used beautifully, and that is going to be 2-0. First going to Pit Ponies. Incredibly well played from them. Incredibly close from the Wolfhounds bringing it back, but just not able to. And if there's only one play of the game, it's got to be no.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's the Moira ult, and why? Looks like they're just all lined up for it, and they got booped into the corner.
Dang.
Great team play. And you know what's funny? You look at the kill feed, it's all False in the kill feed doing the damage, but I guess it was just cleanup crew from False. So, wow. I mean, looking at that game, looking at the way that it was a little bit of a back and forth, this is fun. This is fun Overwatch here at the Welsh Esports League. You know, I've been so used to seeing some 3-0s here, but that felt close. That really did cut it corners a bit. And I will say, though, there are some mistakes in the play style for both of these teams, and you know, I like seeing the mistakes because it says that they're human, but I also want to see more capitalization on those mistakes. Jump on if someone's solo ulting you as a Reinhardt, punish them. You know, things like that need to be happening a little bit more often.
No, I think that's a fair point, and one of the things that, as you said, you know, in terms of kind of exploiting that weakness, is we are going to be seeing a fair bit of weakness, at least. These aren't going to be the compact, cohesive, 100% executes that you are higher, to see in like the highest tier. But what that does mean is, and for a lot of things, particularly Overwatch as well, with the ult economy and such being so important, you don't need to do anything particularly flashy. You just need to make less mistakes than your opponent, or you need to punish those mistakes harder, as you were saying. And a map quite like Nepal, I mean, we're going to be going into hybrid now. Anything to do with, just getting one frag, getting just slightly dispositioned out is super relevant, going to be going into, probably actually the most relevant going into hybrid. So it'll depend exactly what maps the teams do pick for this, but it's exciting to see. And yeah, no, far closer than maybe what we were going to be seeing from that first series.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that, if we are going to be seeing something, it's definite, as you put it, map specific. So, hey, Prod, can we get a map check? Let's find out what map we have coming up next year. If we can. If we can't, it's waiting for it. Got it. All right. Well, with that being said, what map would you like to see? Because we have so many options here in this hybrid style. I know that a lot of these teams like Eichenwald this season. Yep. And that's something that I'm actually kind of curious to see. We just saw Hollywood. Eichenwald was picked a lot last week. And then, of course, it could always just go Kings Row. So.
I think Eichenwald's probably what I would like to see. I haven't had too much of a chance to kind of experience Eichenwald recently. Again, Farah and such is an excellent pick there, just with all the kind of, you know, that aviation and plenty of space for her to play with. So wouldn't be surprised to see her if we do pick Eichenwald. May, another, you know, character to that. So that's... I'm leaning towards the Eichenwald just because there's a lot of quite unique playstyles in terms of the choke points, in terms of the entries and the execution. So I think just for overall entertainment value, I'm betting Eichenwald.
Awesome. Well, let's hope that we're going to be seeing Eichenwald on your bet, because you know you don't want to lose in public, you know. But
be wrong on the internet? No,
yeah,
never.
Yeah, could not happen.
Could not be me.
Yeah, never. But you know, looking at the way that this is going to go, it's actually going to be Midtown. So none of the above. None of the above.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think any of us would have got that at any point.
I mean, I haven't even had the honor of seeing Midtown this season at all. So, you know, I'm going to be curious to see what the character picks are. I think Midtown, you know, might lead for Venture, maybe, hopefully. But overall, it is still going to be a interesting pickup. This map, very support oriented, because there's a lot of corridors where you're just going to lose a lot of HP so fast that you're going to need somebody who has a lot of healing output. Lucio is actually one of those characters right now. Lucio has been really buffed into the meta here for almost a namesake staying power. It's either that, Baptiste, but we are going to swap sides, figure out what's going to happen, and get into this game shortly here. So, you know, any predictions for what kind of DPS or even what kind of tanks we're going to be seeing on this map?
So that's the thing. So with Midtown kind of coming through, Midtown is definitely a pick from someone has a plan. That's kind of what Midtown tells me. Eichenwald's more, you know, we're just going to play this a bit more standard. Same with King's Row. Midtown is someone has labbed something and they have either cooked this dish to perfection or they have burnt the absolute hell out of it. I don't think there's going to be much, much else that we'll see. So my picks, we might see the Ramatra actually come back out again. It was a very solid pick. It was getting quite a lot of value there, so we can easily see that. If we want to see a more dive-centric style, which Midtown does quite favour, at that point, you know, we've got the Wrecking Ball and such online. So I think I'm going to lean towards more dive, but I was also leaning towards Eichenwald, and I was wrong. So, you know, twice in one kind of back-to-back series. What about yourself, Edu? Any particular shouts?
You know, honestly, seeing a lot of these players just picking the same characters, even when it's not exactly meta, I think we might see that Reinhardt again. You know, that's something that I'm looking at. But also, I think Ramatra. Yeah, I agree. Ramatra is just really good on this map. So we should be jumping in and finding out. But at the end of the day, you know, we can make all the predictions in the world, but I like to set my expectations really high and then still get blown away by these teams. So I would think that it's not really about what they instantly lock in, what they feel comfortable on. It's a map, really a game about counter picking. I need to see them swapping off of bad choices as soon as possible. So let's dive on in, find out what's going to happen here, and really see what this team is going to be able to pull through with. And looking at this, it's a Torbjorn to be the standout pick here.
Interesting from Mythical. Yeah, I really like to see it. Other than that, basically, we do seem to have... you were completely correct on the call. We do see Legolas back on the Reinhardt, maybe just a bit more comfortable. But if you've got a map, you know, Midtown is quite quite a Reinhardt specific map. If you've got the push from Pizza Lover, which I imagine we absolutely would have. Oh, it seems we've had a settings check. Oh no, as we... have we missed something, unfortunately? Wait a minute, just 1 second while we get this sorted.
It's on quick play settings. All right. Good job.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's a little bit of a show to what's to come. Is this going to be a quick play? Is it going to be a full-blown, you can't touch the point, and the next wave is just going to be instant? Maybe that's the quick play that we're going to be seeing here. But once they get the settings, they're going to resend this team. Luckily, it was early enough that they don't know each other's team composition, which is good for the competitive integrity of it, but it's just a setback production-wise. So we will get that corrected as soon as possible and send us back on in here. Now, let's talk about that Torbjorn pick. It was on attack. Attack Torbjorn, I'm not too positive on, unless, I mean, definitely counters things like Pharah and Echo, but Midtown, you don't really see anybody besides that Echo. So, and for first point, you don't really even see Echo until second, payload, first payload point here. So I'm kind of curious to see how this team is going to adapt to that Torbjorn. But at the end of the day, I might not even see it have any value to begin with. So it's an interesting hover.
It's an interesting hover. If in terms of kind of attack Torbjorn, what's quite good about Torbjorn on Midtown is you can go onto the upper, so you can take the kind of train carriage through, and then if you do keep that platform on the other side, the Torbjorn turret is something with just the space being as open as it is, you are likely going to get some value from it. Even if it's not kills or picks, it's going to be good ult charge, it's going to be good for the Molten Core. That's the type of stuff that you can maybe consider. Midtown, I would actually say, is that little kind of point. If you can capitalize on that, if you can run through with your team, that is a hell of a platform to have. It's a hell of a positional advantage to have, because otherwise you do have to go just underneath the bridge and get potentially choked out by just any number of utility and squad. As you mentioned, the Echo and things can just kind of pelt the explosives through there. So if you're playing an aggressive kind of we are going to play around this specific point, I think the Torbjorn's quite a smart choice. However, it could be very much easily immediately countered and shut down.
Yeah, it's one of those wild cards. It's one of those heads or tails. But welcome to now the game. So let's go. Me and Gwen is kissing your backline. XOXO. All right, Dominus coming in with the sniping
banter.
I like it. And I also noticed Mini Mythical decides, hey, maybe we don't do that. So, yeah, let's not do the Torbjorn. But I think another interesting pick is actually going to be a Widow to go against these snipers, go against this Ashe here.
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing you've got to see, we didn't see False wasn't particularly trigger happy on the deflect on the first set, so maybe Weather's going to be able to survive. However, obviously one thing that you've got to worry about if you're Widow is if that deflect comes back and you get domed by your own bullet, that's a clip, that's a highlight, and it will be replayed forever.
Let's see this now. Let's see the shot. Oh, Weather.
Very close.
Interesting position, but look at this. We are seeing False trying to get up behind him. Not really doing too much. Mini Mythical taking some shots, taking some damage, and there goes the first blood of this map. Great amount of damage here. And yeah, it's going to be Ramacho versus Reinhardt, which I think we know what happens here. It's just complete bullying of a gamer. Yeah, there's not a lot you can do. Just punch his way through it, and that's going to be a pretty hard reset here for the Wolfhounds. Whether switching off the Widowmaker will go for the Ashe, and yeah, hard reset. And hopefully something will change here for them to get out, because that's a big stagger of support and a tank.
Oh my! Weather very concerned. They're nearly falling down to the damage orb. There does get away with their life. And now you did mention Edu, of course, the swap overs. The ponies haven't had to yet. And look at the ults coming online already. Dominus and Afam just charging that up. We're already very close to seeing the Nemesis mode. Pizza Lover nearly going to go down again, is going to actually fry due to the dynamite, and False collapsing on with the help of Lemon 1, and that's going to be another reset already.
Wow. Another reset. Now, they haven't really done a great job of doing enough damage to even warrant not switching right now. It's so early for them. Mini Mythical and Weather both at 39%. Mini Mythical, remember, is at the exact same amount of ultimate as this player who already has switched, so a little bit of a setback here, and Weather's doing most of the damage. So Mini, I think the main struggle is he's not being able to actually close this distance. He's hiding a little bit too much, and I want to see him get behind him. We saw how the Artist player Havoc could really make a lot of space on that Reaper, and that kind of outcome is just not happening.
No, and the Coalesce is going to come through now to try and get all this fought through. The dash is going to come through. There's not going to be a pop of the Dragon Blade there. False isn't able to quite get it, but doesn't look like it's going to need committed. Unless an excellent frag from Saya absolutely going to shut down Lemon. No sound barrier possibly online. Afamo just fighting through, trying it. There is a bit of space being made, actually. Pizza Lover and Weather are able to get two. That might be just enough space, even if it's not Mini Mythical making it, for them to get that to start capping this point.
Alrighty. So, with them now getting onto that point, this is looking pretty good. Mini Mythical able to finally cut that distance. Lots of damage being dealt. Now, will we see Pit Ponies try to attempt to push him off? And the answer is a no. But they are harassing a little. Wait, no, they are. They're going in. Okay, Bob's coming out. False has the ult, but if they fight for this, it's just going to be death. And now they're staggered a little bit, but oh, Gwen, nice on a suddenly, but the spawns have already reset. This is just a little bit of a bad position as everybody's getting punished for their over-aggression, in my opinion. But Pit Ponies, they do have a long way to defend this.
A little bit of overzealous is completely correct. The ult economy been very well handled from both sides. Quite surprising that Ponies were able to, that they did decide to kind of try that counter attack when they had. I think they had just given a little bit too much space, and then maybe a little bit of indecision going through where they're trying to get the last pick. But it's going to actually be followed up by Lagos and Mini. Afmal popping the fists out just to get everything pushed through. And the space here we were talking about, now Mythical does seem to be a bit more confident with the help of Pizza Lover to get all this space picked up. The Death Blossom and the Sound Barrier both online.
And now, with that, ultimate's kind of being used up here. No shatter, nothing really does it work for. Pit Ponies should be at an advantage here. Now, I will say Pizza Lover might be able to completely cripple any attack that comes through, but what we talked about in that first map was this blade. And now, it's going to come through with Mini Mythical popping an ultimate here, but you can't really hold back even against that ultimate here from Pizza Lover. The dash, the slash comes on through, and this is a hold that will go in the favor of Pit Ponies.
Incredible stuff. Yeah, those shurikens were deadly there from False. That was a right click to Mythical's face that he absolutely took. Lemon absolutely as well able to actually keep the sound barrier, which is massive. Pizza Lover trying to drop it nearly enough to save the Wolfhounds, but the damage was just too much there. I mean, the entire kitchen sink was used from the Ponies. The only thing standing is Lemon, so quite a good start. Weather though, finding a pick on the Gwyn, you do not want to be, oh my days, you do not want to be seeing that if you're the Pit Ponies. That's basically going to be enough to seal the deal for the remainder of this payload point. What shots coming out from Weather.
I mean, ironic enough with Gwyn saying just Ash diff there, and yeah, now you can see why, just completely pushing this team out. You do see Lagolith, so much space here, but you might be biting off a bit more than you could chew, but I think he's going to go down with, no! Baptiste comes in to save him, and that is massive. We do see, though, Pizza Lover dying out in the back end there. We do have ultimates available, but looks like this is just going to be a little bit of a tough reset here for the attackers as, they made space, they pushed it, but they're just buying time for that door or that wall to fall and get the cart start moving.
No, and the space being taken here, we are saying, I mean, yeah, Weather versus Gwyn is all of a sudden a diff, like a fight that I am very invested in, because Weather simply just by doing that, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a point quite opened up as fast as that, and that's absolutely what we've seen. False actually countering the beautiful dive onto Weather, and that's going to be enough. Yeah, we see this collapse come through now. The Incendiary is going to basically melt through everyone. Mini Mythical's Death Blossom is going to try and finish the job, but it's not as clean as it's not as clean as either team would like. Very back and forth on that pinstripe there in the kill feed, dancing around the Ramatra shield, but finally it looks like it's going to go on the side of the Wolfhounds.
Let's go. So, a big opening here. Wolfhounds, honestly, the energy they're bringing into this game, this map, is completely different than that first map there over on Nepal. So now with Gwyn having the Bob, having everybody available to do a little bit of damage, this could shut them down. And as the payload will be escorted, Bobs are going out, double Bobs.
Trade your
and
bombs,
now
trade
Blade.
your Dragon Blades, everything's coming out. Oh my days, who walks away to tell this tale?
No one walks away. Nobody. Everybody just, wow, what a reset. But that was expensive. How many ults did they just use there? 3? Yeah, 3 ultimates for the Pit Ponies, 2 ultimates for the Wolfhounds.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, the kitchen sink had to be thrown out. Basically, either way, it's kind of last fight. The Wolfhounds are going to be able to fight back for one more push. It may genuinely come down to these shots from Weather, but that's a huge pick from False. I mean, granted, at least if it's one person that's going to get staggered, it's the person with the fastest movement. There's an Earth Shatter and Sound Barrier online for the Wolfhounds. Meanwhile, you've got the window and the Nemesis mode for the side of the Ponies. So these ults are going to be very pivotal. In theory, they basically all counter each other. The window counters the barrier. The Nemesis counters the Earth Shatter counters the Nemesis. So we'll have to wait and see.
Wow. And there we go. The shatter comes out, but it lands on absolutely nothing. Oh, that's unfortunate. So goodbye to this Rhine. Ramondre wants to finish what they started, but the Baptiste always coming in to save him. And no, Gwen's going to get taken out by Weather. Great shot from the back end there. And Lagalith gets another, keeps it going and manages to stay alive. They are killing everyone. And yeah, that is going to be the point. It's just the Tracer to buy time, but you can't really do much in time. There it is. It's over. And wow, the Wolfhounds managing to win it in overtime. Just barely ran the clock down.
Yeah, that 0 seconds is actually very important because, you know, if the Wolfhounds manage to get 1 second, then obviously they'd get, you know, a minute kind of added onto the clock. But now all the pit ponies basically need to do is get this to the end with any sort of time remaining, and you know, they're in a very good stead to, at the very least, you know, force a draw. But obviously they'll want that victory to go at 2-0. But there's quite a journey before we can even talk about that. Incredibly good aggression from the Wolfhounds. You did mention it already. You know, not the team that we've seen in Nepal. Much more confident, much more aggressive, much more cohesive. Incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah, this has been the closest match that I've actually seen between two teams yet. And of course, it's only week 2, but remember that these teams are so strong here. And, you know, looking at now the Pit Ponies being able to put up quite a fight and actually changing the strategies a bit, going from, you know, Gwyn on the hit scan sniper. You do see the Wolfhounds, though. These guys have been able to adapt quite well, punish very potently, but now look at the Pit Ponies. I'm looking at that Mauga. I'm wondering what the Mauga's really going to be able to pull through with here, as the zoning ability of his ultimate very limited and situational. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think this is, to be honest, we're just going to have to let the gameplay kind of speak for itself here. We could try and theorize how the Malga is going to get used, but I think Afimal's just going to have to show us himself how to do it. You know, the trash damage does come through, and Malga is pretty damn excellent at that. If False is able to get that pick, which he is, a beautiful opener for it. Pizza Lover does try and defend it. Lagalith with a beautiful counter charge, but look at the melting happening. I mentioned the trash damage earlier, and what a confident push. Oh my days.
Wow. All right. Yeah, confidence is king, I guess. And you talked about them needing time. Well, they are not wasting any right now to do some damage and just get this first point. And I don't think that there's much option for contest. You look at Wolfhounds here, and yeah, they're just going to let it go. Pit Ponies, beautiful execute on that cart.
5.5 minutes, and there's really only starting. We're seeing now immediate. Look at that as well. The confidence from Afimal there. Look, Malga's done exactly what they wanted. They just wanted the trash damage. They wanted just that space created. We're going to jump onto the Diva now. Quite a strong pick. I mean, you've got Weather on the Cassidy. You've got Mini on the Reaper as well. So quite a lot that the defense matrix can maybe eat up. There's also going to be plenty of boulders to Afimal's face, though, courtesy of Lagalith. So not entirely going to be shutting down everyone for the side of Wolfhounds.
So let's see it now. A little bit of a push up for this team, and oh my, Pit Ponies not even bothering to be on the cart. They just want to fight, and they're going for it, trying to push these players off the high ground. And is that going to be a play that actually pays off here, as we see so much damage being dealt to both ends? False having to back out, but look at that. Everybody here for the Pit Ponies kind of realizing we didn't get any value out of that. Not a single player on either team dropped. It was just a little bit of a punching match and nobody getting knocked out.
They walk away with quite a bit of ultimates to protect. False being able to walk away with that Dragon Blade is massive. There's not too much in the way of movement from Wolfhounds. I mean, you've got, you know, the Reaper's teleport, but other than that, until Alari gets her ultimate, there's not going to be too much movement we're going to see. So that Dragon Blade is going to get popped immediately, though. Actually, Weather just pops down False and now going to be collapsing onto it. Doesn't decide to use the High Noon. Just happy enough with the frags. Afimal trying to claw something away, but not going to get much.
Wow. I mean, Pit Ponies want an explosive start on just the capture, but maybe that's just what they're good at. They're good at capping points, and this time with the payload here, it's not doing much, but Afimal almost getting the Sigma down is going to be staggered so beautifully twice now, and that is just not what you want to see from the Diva. Weather will finish the job because he almost lost the 1v1 Baby Diva versus Cassidy there. So a decent stagger coming out with 3 minutes remaining, though. I do see the Pit Ponies has a chance at turning it around, but oh my god, that is a
Okay.
3-player swap. False off of the Genji, Gwen off of the Cassidy, and now the D.Va switching to the Sigma as well. Interesting change up here.
Double sniper for the side of the ponies. I mean, to be fair, you know, all you need is one headshot. There's not really many people there that's going to take too much. Weather with a beautiful positioning here. You've seen it so many times. The kind of clutch high down. It's risky, but it might work. It's a beautiful stagger false. Trying to dance around Weather's shot's not going to be enough to coalesce pops as well. Weather having to pops the high noon. It's going to be enough to put Affable down and suddenly can pick up the remainder. Look at the limbo dancing from Weather to go under the Hanzo Storm arrows. And yeah, beautiful positioning. Beautiful shutdown for the Pit Ponies attack there by the Wolfhounds.
Wow, and the Wolfhounds, they know, hey, if we just keep this up, it's GG. We get our first point against this team, and if they can tie this up, then we might see the good old reverse sweep here. Of course, in this setup, we do have a first to 3, so it's technically not a best of 5. It is whoever gets the 3 first, which I guess technically is still a best of 5. But there can be draws.
There could be draws. There could be draws.
There can be draws.
It's not exactly it. There could be draws.
So what's the plan here now? Okay, they managed to get out of the corner. Mini Mythical getting behind, dropping into nobody. Will be good for 1. Takes out the Baptiste here, but wow. How did they allow this cart to just get pushed? Surprisingly, when the Pit Pony stops doing what they're doing and getting a little bit over aggressive, they just sit on the cart and there's nothing this team can do.
Oh my days! And when you've got the Sigma kind of popping off like that, oh, it's a beautiful shot from False. Probably not going to be enough, but actually we do see the ultimate come through. That's going to be a slam. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, it's hush my mouth. It's plenty enough. Excellent shot, excellent use of the ultimate there, and the space finally taken for the ponies. 3 minutes on the clock, and they've got quite a bit to go. But I mean, the Wolfhounds had a lot less time than this, and the ultimates are going to be coming back online slowly but surely. The Dragon Strike very nearly online for Gwen. Other than that, you've just got the X-ray vision. So Wolfhounds, we're going to have to see the adapt. Mini Mythical dropping onto the May. I actually really like this choice. The Blizzard is just such an effective ultimate for getting the ponies off the payload should they need it. But look at how fast it's moving.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, but what a pick! Gwen! Absolute clean shot. And now we're actually going to be seeing Gwen popping it up with another ultimate here to force these players back. And that May using the wall here means that payload just gets to keep getting chauffeured all the way around these corridors, around these corners. And yeah, unfortunate enough, this could be a Pit Ponies turning around. I maybe spoke too soon with 2 minutes left. So much to work with here. And now it is going to be a little bit of a stagger by the Sigma, but they are doing some damage, nearly taking out a Sigma of their own.
Mythical walks away with like 1 HP. Pizza Lover going to fall down to False there. Beautiful shooting. 2 minutes left on the clock. Quite a lot used there from the Wolfhound. Oh, actually, no, I say that. It was really only actually the Alari they popped. Mini Mythical, 60% on the Mail suddenly, and everyone basically ready to run through with their ultimates. Ponies having the sound barrier online, absolutely going to be pivotal. We're going to likely be seeing quite a fast commit off of this, quite an aggressive commit from Lemon01. If you're the Wolfhounds, you want that Lucio dead before he ever gets started. No, and there it is. The barrier counters the Sigma. Absolutely beautiful. False countering Weather, winning the Widow duo just as he won the Ash Ditto, and now the fight truly begins.
Wow, big fight here. Lots of damage from Mini Mythical, taking out Gwen. Beautifully played, and now more will coming out as well. So, Mini Mythical, that May switch, you highlighted it the second it happened, and we're seeing what it actually is capable of. Great turnaround with now a minute left. Having that May ultimate online means stalling for overtime almost guarantees it at this point. This could be a tough fight and maybe an L for the Pit Ponies. No matter what, this is the Wolfhounds right where they want these.
48 seconds left. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it right where you want them, exactly right. The Blizzard's going to be online. There's quite a lot. The information has been gathered. Of course, the Infrasight not going to do too much. The beautiful Maywold actually cut off the Baptiste window is not going to get too much value now from Dominus and co. The counter wall hacks are going to come through the window, now fading away. No frags online just yet. The Gravity Well online. Gwen, beautiful shot, actually takes out Mini. That's massive. And the double kill from the Signal as well. Is this enough?
I mean, it's just up to one player to hold it, but Okay, let's see this. Mini Mythical is back alive just in time. They can pop an ultimate. No, they already used the ultimate. They have to just use their body now to stall for time. 3 seconds, overtime's guaranteed. And now, here we go. It's really just, can the Pit Ponies finally get it the 3.52 meters away? The answer is going to be a no. It's gonna be a no. It's gonna be a no. It's gonna be a no.
It's gonna be a no. It's just false. There's no way your Widow's going to do that. And false, ladies and gentlemen, we are tied up.
Wow. Wolfhounds, by the skin of their teeth, by the frost on the top. It's Mini Mythical MVP there to get them on to OT. And yeah, honestly though, disappointing if you are this Sigma. Not the gameplay, just the faith in your team. You practically handed them that final push-up, and it just all ended. I gotta say though, that double sniper strategy did not pay out, in my opinion. I think they relied too much on the Sigma, and that could be why this tied game is going to get us even closer to a long day here for us.
Oh yeah, no, at this point now we're in it for the long haul. The teams, I really think the teams are so fired up after the unfortunate DQ. Well, we won't bring it up too much more after that. But I mean, if you've got teams that are confident, that really are able to say, you know what, we can bring each other to, to the absolute limit, and we will ask you a bunch of questions that you better have answers for. Yeah, I mean that's an incredible start off to the remainder of this. So we've still got quite a lot to go for. I believe the next one bringing us up, it's going to just be straight payload this time, so we'll have to see exactly what the teams do end up going with. Junkertown does seem to be quite a confident pick from a lot of the teams that we have been seeing at the moment. Edu, do you have any kind of predictions or things? Maybe it's your turn to be wrong on the internet.
It's my turn to be wrong. Well, I am going to be wrong here. I'm thinking map-wise, I don't know, personally. I have no idea what these teams are going to pick, to be honest with you. But what I do know is Mini Mythical is switching off of DPS and going on to support, having Pizza Lover, the Lucio player, switching onto DPS. So honestly, it's not even going to be the same team lineup anymore. I couldn't tell you what map would work with this because it's not applicable anymore. When you don't have Mini Mythical on that DPS or Pizza Lover on support, their team dynamic completely shifts.
Yeah, no, that's very strange. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, what will we see? Pizza Lover then run Sojourn, and then if that's the case, maybe. Well, no, it wouldn't be Junkertown. Junkertown's quite open for Sojourn, at least first point. Maybe when you're kind of getting their second and third point, that becomes different. But yeah, that's I'm interested to see what the reasoning is. Whether it is they have something planned out. Whether it's just they need a bit of a change of pace. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I cannot fathom what it is, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, well, it looks like it is going to be Shambali Monastery. Now, that map, very interesting to see what they can do, but also it's been a very zen day for these two teams, going for Nepal, then Shambali Monastery. I mean, these guys are going calm, cool, and collected with a very close fight, but Shambali Monastery, what we saw last week with this map was if you get a little bit too over-aggressive on the defense, you just lose. It's that kind of punishment that I'm a little bit concerned about. That first point, you're going to have to play that high ground in the back end of that first road corner. And to do that, I would think that maybe some snipers will be coming out. We did see, a Widow and a Hanzo being picked up there. So I'm assuming that we're going to be seeing an Ashe or a Widow. Just being able to maybe find those early frags here, especially on a map that has a lot of these long angles. And yeah, we are going to be seeing an Ashe over by Weather, but I'm looking at Pit Ponies, and this team composition, I'm kind of curious on.
I mean, it's not too surprised. Okay, false swap now. I wasn't too surprised to see the Echo again. It's quite an open, open aerial for the first point. That choke point, you had mentioned, Edu, is super difficult to kind of get through. If you do end up going with like a Pharah or an Echo, someone with a bit more kind of vertical mobility, you can cheat a little bit more of the kind of choke point. But speaking of cheating, what is this? Pizza Lover with the setup with a Junkrat sentry turret almost for the side of Wolfhounds. We'll have to see if Pit Ponies can come through, because this is a hell of a setup, and depending on how this goes, Ponies might just walk right into it.
Yeah, this setup I've actually seen a few times now, and it looks quite fun, but it's very dependent on if we're going to be seeing a ganking Gwyn, which I don't think is going to happen here. But a little bit of damage goes a long way. That high ground position is just getting chipped away at, and yeah, no one's going through this, so they're missing an entire DPS here for the side of the Pit Ponies. Actually, so for the side of the Wolfhounds, I should say. And now he finally drops in, maybe being able to help his team, but they're already past the first choke, so not the best opening.
No, definitely not. I mean, yeah, like that, and that's such a hard choke to get through as well. You know, the fact that you have kind of lost a trash damage as well. Like, you know, Junkrat absolutely feasts on that first point. To give away so much of that utility from Pizza Lover is a bit of a shame. If you're the Wolfhounds, though, you're absolutely, you know, or if you're the Pit Ponies, sorry, I should say, you're absolutely ecstatic about that. False just trying to get the damage through. Already 60% the ultimate. The melting is going to come through. Lagalith falls, and the rest of the ponies is going to. Oh, I was going to say join them, but again, bit scrappier. Not as quite a clean set of frags as we were maybe anticipating.
Yeah, and now this is a little bit of a tough reset here. Pizza Lover going to have to just wait for that regen to even try to contest, but they took too much chip, and now it's just up to this Reinhardt to try to buy time as his team gets healed behind him. But yeah, not a good start to the Wolfhounds, all off the back of that very interesting play. And Lagalith going for the charge. We see an ulting Ramatra. That should be a punish here for the ages, but the heals are just a bit too much, but that Moira is going to run out soon. And unfortunately, it's a ticking time bomb here, and this Ramatra is going to just keep that energy going, finally finishing off with a kill. But a purple like this, they can take out this tank, they can kill, but no! Everybody gets to walk away.
Everyone grab your cues and pitchforks, because that's what we're seeing. We're watching everything get popped. Dominus trying to go online with the Coalesce. False absolutely just going to drop down, both suddenly and mini mythical. That's going to be enough for the space, and we you know, had talked about the Echo and such. Pizza Lover, unfortunately, just not going to be able, you know, and getting quite countered by False on that Echo. You know, you're not going to be getting too much damage onto them, and now I would imagine here we're going to be seeing likely False gets the Echo ultimate, gets that duplication, then we might see a swap through.
See this then. The payload going on up, and honestly, I gotta hand it to this Ramatra, just being able to burn right on up. I do see, though, Pizza Lover been sitting on this tire for quite some time, and I want that tire to be able to cut through their back end, because that Ramatra kind of can eat a tire pretty well, but you look at eating damage, and that Ryan gets absolutely just shattered through. Gwyn takes out Mini Mythical. Everybody's falling one step at a time. Luckily, you see Pizza Lover taking out False there, but yeah, look at Ramatra. Just running until he dies, made so much space up to their spawn.
That's scary. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I mentioned Pizza Lover there in terms of, I actually mentioned, you know, False countering, but of course False then has to fall to Pizza Lover to make me seem silly. The tire you had mentioned, Edru's finally going to get used. It looks like it's going to just be to stagger Lemon, and that is ran to the other side of the planet. Pizza Lover absolutely wanting that shut down. Lemon, I mean, you're pretty happy with that. I mean, the ponies were going to be recollecting any side. They've got 3 ultimates now online. Both Coalesce and the Nemesis are pretty close in the back. Meanwhile, Wolfhounds just have to rely on a pretty clutch shatter from Lagalith. And I think this is what you'd mentioned, Edgy, about the aggressive defense and how quickly this could maybe collapse if you're the Wolfhounds.
Ooh, we have a high noon, and we had a high noon. A shatter completely shatters their hopes and dreams of getting it connected. And look at this, all the damage is coming up. And maybe, just maybe, they can get around the corner here. But no, an ulting Ramatra will continue to push this pressure forward. And yeah, there's not a lot that they can do on the defense. They're just getting ticked off one at a time. There goes your tank, there goes your players, there goes everything you have. And Gwyn might be the next to fall. Yep, Weather being able to get a trade off there. But no, this point will go over to this team of the Pit Ponies. Unless Weather, holy!
You spoke. Oh my god. Do it. Give Weather the 5k. Oh my days. Every single kill was from Weather. Oh my god.
Play of the game has been earned.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to say one thing about Pit Ponies, they're under the weather.
Yeah, because they're getting absolutely carried here. But looking at this next round, no ultimates left. Weather, though, he's gonna bomb.
I mean, if you're Weather after that, I feel like the confidence you have, you can just do anything now. Like, I feel like they have to, like, Weather's gonna have to actually mentally reset for a sec, because like the adrenaline there would basically just kind of tell, you know, you'd be like, okay, I'm the best player in the world. That was absolutely incredible, and it absolutely was. But need to keep a cool head because there's still 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Yeah, but look at this. They're just doing so much damage. The Bob already being used up here to stop the first push. What is Pizza Lover? That angle.
Yeah,
so
that's
far away.
An absolute NASA kind of mission there. Space shuttle Junkrat being fired through.
Oh my god. All right. We see the tanks falling, but Pizza Lover and Suddenly are gone. There goes both supports. Now it's just on the back of Weather. And Lagalith keeping it going. And they will be able to maybe stop him. But False 2v1 wins it.
What is this back and forth? These teams are so evenly marked. This is absolutely ludicrous. The fact that every team fight has been like one person to tell the story. Like, there's maybe been one, that's an overstatement, but like, it has not been very clean team fights. It has been very scrappy, very kitchen sink approach. Everything needs to be utilized, and it's coming down to the wire, which is exactly what you want to see.
Wow, great shatter here, and that's going to punish Gwyn. Amazing job from the Ryans here, and Weather keeps it going by taking out the tank. You do see now Dominus switching off of the Moira and hopping right on to the Baptiste. Now, that can definitely put a wrench in it, but oh my, Weather, chill. Nearly killing False across the wall with an air play. 1 minute left here. Pit Ponies, 3 ultimates now. Should have the high noon soon. Pizza Lover, though.
Place your bets. The Emerald Field. Oh my days! It's Apple
Nice.
that actually takes it down. The Emerald Field not even being a player. False, beautiful shot onto Pizza Lover. The Coalesce is coming back through from suddenly. Lagalith picks up another mythical. Gonna follow along the side. The damage is so much, but again, these trades are coming through. It's not quite as smooth as you would maybe hope. The shots from Weather. This is a demon that we are seeing. Punches the Ramatra and picks up Lemon as well. No, Weather is absolutely the MVP for the Wolfhounds.
It's insane, and it begs the question: do you think that, you know, Weather here, you know, picking up the pace, it makes the trade-off of having Pizza Lover on the DPS and Mini Mythical on the support that much stronger, just completely carrying? You don't need 2 DPS anymore. You just need Weather, and then of course Lagalith to pick up the pace as well on this Rhine. This 2-man team has been wiping the floor with all the push-ups here. And case in point, Lagalith does it again. High noon? No. That's play of the game because it's an ultimate shutdown after a shatter. GG's. Oh my days.
That's... Oh my... Yeah, oh my days is right. There's nothing else to be said. That was maybe one of my favorite rounds of Overwatch I have seen in quite some time. That was incredibly played from both sides. So many flashy plays, so many good team, so much like good coordination, so much incredibly clutch plays from both sides. Very, very nicely done. So at the moment now, the Ponies were able to get just that 2-point up. The Wolfhounds were able to shut it down a little bit. So now it's the opposite to see. Can the Ponies shut down the Wolfhounds, prevent the push from coming through, and then seal it, and then bring themselves up to 2-1?
Wow. I mean,
I don't know how the players feel. I'm exhausted.
Here's the thing, though. This map, I have not seen the payload go all the way yet. It's just been like every time the first round, I haven't seen it. This map is so difficult to go all the way on. One, it is incredibly long, and it feels longer than everything else. I don't know why. It shouldn't, but it just does. And you look over, and it's just so winding and so easy to really push these players off with these spawn distances. So it's an uphill battle here if you are going to be the Pit Ponies. I mean, False, great damage, but Gwyn on this Cassidy, I think, has really fallen off, and I want to see more from this player.
No, I think that's a fair call. We haven't seen too much of Gwyn just online. Now, I want to bring back Edgy just to what you were saying. You know, this first point here, you know, can be an absolute nightmare to kind of break through. We did see the ponies kind of give it up a little bit at the start, or sorry, the Wolfhounds kind of give it up at the start. So now we'll have to see if they are able to counteract that and take it as defensively, or as convincingly. As they had given it up, and so far there's already quite a bit. But yeah, look, that payload's going through. Legalith already trying to just get that as far as he can, and if Weather can just find one shot, it'll be Gweno actually coming alive. You asked him to show up, and he is doing it.
Wow. And Weather, oh, if Gwen's doing it, Weather might be able to slow him down though. And you look over at False, who's just kind of being that nuisance, that little mosquito in your ear, just buzzing around, and you look at all that damage here, and oh, unfortunately, Pizza Lover, are you gonna stop Gwen? No, Gwen back online, and False keeps it going. Okay, Wolfhounds, they're gonna be pushed all the way off. That is a big stagger as well. Full team wipe.
Full team wipe, and that payload actually doesn't get quite around the corner. Now the Wolfhounds really want this because they were given quite a bit. They had given quite a bit on the defensive side. The ponies were able to abuse that and get around this corner. Now, you know, we are seeing the Wolfhounds kind of get staggered here. There is every possibility that we do not move from this corner. It's going to come down to a beautiful kill though from Weather. That's going to at least cement a bit more space gathered here. Pizza Lover trying to get as much trash damage and stuff through, 80% onto the Reptire. There's one thing you can see, we've seen Pizza Lover absolutely take this to the ends of the earth to get that frag for it, so would not be surprised to see it again.
Wow. Now it's the only time to stop that payload, and you look at this, the big push up here. Ultimates are online for these players here. The Wolfhounds just launching themselves through. Shots after shots for Weather! All but one team kill.
I mean, yeah, seriously, you gotta, I mean, I've used it before, but you gotta be feeling under the weather. Whether or not you survive from him, or if it's gonna be someone else from Wolfhounds, absolutely incredible stuff. And yeah, Weather doesn't miss. Weather just refuses to miss when it matters. Beautiful shooting. The ponies have played pretty smart with their ult economy, 4 of them online, but there's basically 4 online for the Wolfhounds as well. 3 minutes 50 on the clock. There is plenty of time and plenty of space for them to work with. What are we gonna see?
Ooh, Pizza Lover from behind you. Great gank, great flank, able to take out no, wait. That should be False winning that fight. Truly, you don't lose to that. Oh my god, Pizza Lover on the Junkrat. Hitting him with the yeah, that's crazy there to lose to that one. And now Pit Ponies, they're a bit under the weather, as you know, you've been talking about here. And wow, I don't know how to feel about this. There's so much time remaining here for the Wolfhounds.
3 minutes 10 seconds, they've got halfway. I mean, you'd mentioned it earlier in terms of like, it does just feel like there's so much more you have to push. Like there's feels like such a gap in between the sides, even if there necessarily isn't gap between the sides. That is an incredible earth shatter. That is probably going to open everything else up as the side of the ponies just collapse down. The Nemesis is not going to save you from anything, and now we're on to the last point. 4 minutes 10 seconds. It's looking like the Wolfhounds are going to be walking away, putting this up 2-1, unless the ponies can do something absolutely clutch.
I mean, I gotta put my faith into False here. Having this ultimate, we haven't seen it actually find enough value yet. I want to hopefully, get that switch up going. Maybe even, swap to the Reinhardt. A shatter would absolutely cripple this team here. So let's hope that they can find something. But you look at False dead, Pizza Lover getting Gwen, Pizza Lover getting everything. All of my hopes and dreams are gone. There's no ultimates to stop them. And yeah, this is it. This is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Wolfhounds are going to put themselves up 2-1. Match point now. Beautifully played on the Shambali Monastery there. I mean, that was quite a clinic put on. Let's see what your options are for the play of the game, because there are a fair few. It's going to be Weathers. I thought it was a good call on the Reinhardt on the Earth Shatter and such, but when you see someone just rooting, tooting, and shooting to this level, I mean, how can it not be Weather?
You know, the funny thing is, this was the most mid play out of everything you watched him do. Like, what?
That was the worst play that Weather did by quite a substantial margin.
And it was still playing the game. That says a lot. So, I mean, good job. But, of course, that makes us now have a slight lead towards the Wolfhounds. The Pit Ponies falling behind. And now match point advantage over to the Wolfhounds if they can manage to win out our next map, which could be anything. Could be, you know, a push map here. And I'm kind of concerned. What do you think is going to happen if you don't have an answer to Weather's hit scan?
I mean, we've seen what happens if you don't have an answer to Weather's hit scan. You die. Weather will not miss. Weather will absolutely shut you down, gain all the space for the team that is required. I would be very remiss if we didn't see, like, basically a dive comp just to shut that Ashe down. You know, completely rework yourselves just to prevent that value, because whatever Weather has been doing, whether it's the AIM Labs, the Kovacs, or whether it has just, you know, waking up on the right side of the bed this morning, that has been some deadly shooting, and no one has been able to dodge it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely deadly. But now we look into a next map here. I will say the Pit Ponies, map number 1, was their strong suit, but it looks like the teams do need a little bit of a time to take a break here. But we do know the map is going to be New Queen Street. So with that being said, I believe we are going to send it to a quick break for their teams. Take a deep breath here. Wait, never mind. Teams don't need a second. Teams are ready. We don't go breaks. No breaks. All gas, which means New Queen Street. So what are you thinking about this?
There's no brakes on this train is what it is. We're pulling into a New Queen Street next. Very excited. Yeah, I was expecting potentially a lot of people do kind of like you know, Colosseo if it does kind of get ran through. New Queen Street, very kind of safe pick though. We'll likely be seeing quite similar. You know, Edgy, you'd mentioned it earlier in terms of like the safety kind of comp. So we'll likely be seeing the Reinhardts, the Rams. Probably nothing too crazy. The Junkrat though was getting quite a bit of value. That may be something that is actually kind of, you know, that is considered a bit stronger, particularly as well. I mean, yes, Echo was meant to win against the Junkrat, but Junkrat arguably has the fastest time to kill of any hero in this game. If you take a grenade shell to the face, followed up by that concussive mine, you know, you go from 180 to 0 in literally a second. So we might be seeing that come back out, because there's quite a lot of winding roads, there's quite a lot of space for some very solid trash damage on this map.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then it's now time to shine here. This map, in this game mode, to be honest with you, not my favorite. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys pull it through, but I'm seeing a Junker Queen. And I'm seeing Weather not on a hit scan, well, technically, but on that Tracer, going to try to be the behind the scenes, taking out Dominus, taking out Lemon, you know, focus on these players. I'm looking at Junkrat versus Junker Queen. That just means you have no way to avoid this damage, and it's a lot. So you're putting a lot of faith into False back on this Genji, which I like False on the Genji, but all of that pressure onto False's shoulders, it's going to be pretty tough.
I think it is now, looking at these comps, and again, just kind of even build off that point you're making, Edu. False does get kind of fortunate here. There's not too much that kind of shuts down the Dragon Blade. Obviously, the Earth Shatter can, if Lagalith decide, you know, if Lagalith actually absolutely pops off. But likely, you know, there is going to be quite a bit of room for False. Not if he falls down from Mini. An excellent trade for both sides. Gwyn picking up one, Lemon collapsing onto Mini as Dominus drops down suddenly as well. And yeah, suddenly. Very quick initial push from the Pit Ponies. Incredibly good stuff from them.
Yeah, but I like what we saw there. Pizza Lover on the stagger will actually push the cart a little bit to make him now tied. So all the advantage just barely actually won the money or much movement. So good play there from that staggering back end. But now you have Weather here, who I don't think is happy about this Tracer pick right now. Just getting kind of chipped away, and you have to be up close and personal, and you can't against a Reaper. So this is not going to be an easy fight. But now it's time back to square one. Who's going to be able to walk away? Lagalith is just not getting the support that we've seen him have before.
Oh, gonna fall down. Actually, though, we do see Afamil getting trapped, and Pizza Lover is going to collapse down onto that. But when you've got Dominus getting as much good damage on there and False, you know, backing it up, you're gonna just have to get out. And yeah, I think, Edgy, what you were saying there, I think Weather really should just be considering, you know, trying to farm up for this pulse bomb as quick as possible, but likely jumping off that tracer as quick as possible because there's quite a bit of space already made and there's quite a bit of distance gathered for the ponies, despite considering the fact we aren't even 2 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a little bit worse for wear, and the distance is pretty massive between these two carts. So will these bots be able to get pushed? I mean, you look at False. Again, I'm looking at Weather's playstyle here. It's just so passive in the back end, but now we're seeing the aggression. Oh, here we go. Pizza Lover might be able to get the timing down, and looking a little lost there. The tire could have landed on Gwyn, but instead just doing circles. Weather double post bomb. Okay.
I mean, you got to capitalize off of that because, you know, again, the amount of distance that the ponies have gotten. They are missing 2 of their players, of course, but we've still got, you know, False on that Dragon Blade. We are seeing the Venture actually come out from Pizza Lover. I think it's a very solid pick. Venture, super tanky DPS, you know, very difficult to kill. If you've got the Moira and the Lucio, that's quite a lot of AoE kind of heals, so having any kind of tanky DPS is going to absolutely, you know, support that, but the bot's got quite a bit of distance to cover. We are seeing the sound barriers come through. This is going to be quite messy.
Wow, all the mess and the slices will come out, and there's the damage. Huge opportune moment there from them, but now what's the real opening? It's going to be a dead suddenly. 10-player kill streak on Dominus, by the way. This Moira has yet to be punished for all of their aggression, and you look back at the Pit Ponies, who still in the lead, pretty handedly in the lead.
Yeah, no, and another 2 minutes are about to go down there. Weather, I mean, it's a beautiful pulse bomb, don't get me wrong, but if that's the only thing you can get, if there's not enough there to kind of fully capitalize, you know, at that point you do have to start considering your options in terms of the other DPS. Speaking of considered options, the Death Blossom going to come through. That's an excellent double from the side of Affable and False. The Venture's going to fall as well. Look at all of those frags going the way of the ponies, and they are going to get that halfway. The spawn's now going to be pushed up further, and they're halfway there. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left. Wolfhounds, you've got to find a grip, and you've got to start, you know, counteracting this now.
Let's see. Big pushback.
Hopefully.
I mean, I need to see what this Venture can do, and they're going for it. They're getting in the back end. You have to stop that Dominus. Yeah, Venture. All right, there we go, Pizza Lover, taking them down. That's a huge streak lost, but you still have players on point. You still have Junker Queen versus Junker Queen brawl, and an ultimate comes through. Unfortunately, it is going to be favoring the Wolfhounds here, as this Lucio is getting staggered.
Very that Lagolith actually there nearly going down to the Sonic to the beats there. Thankfully able to walk away with their life, but Lemon would have been a hell of an entertaining kill if he'd have managed it. The ult's now very much favouring the Wolfhounds. There's only the kind of the whirlwind sprint for the side of Affable. Meanwhile, you've got the Venture ult, which the name completely escapes me at the moment. You got the Pulse Bomb, you got Mythical on that, and Pizza Lover with a beautiful first pick onto Dominus. You'd mentioned, Edu, that Dominus needed to be shut down, and Pizza Lover seems to have heard you.
I mean, that's the goal. And the thing about Venture, being able to get behind them so easily, pretty much a free ticket to the back end, is what Weather wishes he had, as the punishment for getting too aggro there will be pretty hefty. Now, without Weather, without that damage, it's up to the Venture, it's up to Pizza Lover. Luckily, we are going to see the bot, I mean, move back over. Decent time to reset, but the problem is, in this game mode, you give up space and immediately all that push is going to get right back onto him. So, yeah. I don't know. Pit Ponies just seems to be in the lead here for valid reason.
No, every time, yeah, as you said, that, you know, there's a bit of space kind of gathered from the Wolfhounds, but then, yeah, the ponies are able to bring it right back. I mean, whether they're beautiful double, beautiful quad from the side of the Wolfhounds, but all of that effort, you know, they have to push this bot immediately just right back to where it came from. You know, that is going to tick down the timer. 4 minutes left remaining. Gwyn trying to get out as quick as possible. Yeah, not going to get staggered out, unfortunately, for the Wolfhounds. But quite a bit of space now gathered. We're likely going to be seeing maybe 2, 3 more fights at least. There's so many ultimates online for the ponies. If you're going to do something, it's now.
All right, big ultimate here. Dragon Blade will be good for 1, good for 2, and False is going to keep it going. Now has the slash to find the final blow onto Weather, but I think this is going to be a rough fight with 3 minutes remaining. More than likely, no one's getting to the exit today, that's for true, but now it's for how it's going to be able to turn this around here, as this is a staggered venture, and yeah, False, completely different Weather, and Weather still on the Tracer, not switching up anything. The only real value I've seen from them is that double pulse bomb we got earlier.
I mean, that's the thing, and that was the thing, you know, arguably as well, don't get me wrong, the double elim is nice, but the Wolfhounds couldn't even create that much space off the back of it, and that's, you know, when you get a double kill to that degree, speaking of, you know, creating value, we've got the Death Blossoms, we've got the sound barriers all dropping down, Wynn's going to fall, it's 1 versus 1, it's Pizza Lover versus False, but that counter sound barrier from Lemon, it's going to be pivotal. False is good for 1, the dashes are going to have to come through, but there's not going to be able to find quite enough, as the Wolfhounds do actually walk away with the frags, with the advantage, and that bot is going to now run all the way back to where it was at the pony side.
I gotta see everybody on that point. I need this bot to move faster. They're running out of time here. You only got 2 minutes left, and you see this team, Pit Ponies. Honestly, though, look at how close this is getting. They are, what, 20 meters away from each other. It's just this final push every time thanks to False, but the last point, well, that was all Dragon Blade. That was all the damage, but now they have the Coalesce to get them off, and there's 1, there's 2. Probably going to find the 3rd here as well. Yeah, oh god. I don't think there's enough time for Wolfhounds to bounce back.
It's looking kind of tough. You've got the Dragon Blade online for the ponies. You're about to get the Whirlwind from Ephemal as well. You've got the Pulse Bot. I mean, if Weather can do something incredible, there is a chance. But I think Edu, I'm leaning towards your side as well. I think it might just be a bit too much of an uphill struggle. To be fair, I mean, overtime does exist, and overtime is very common on push. You know, it's probably the game mode with the most common overtime. So if the Wolfhounds can get a foothold here, you know, there is a possibility of it. That's a beautiful use of the utility there. False is actually going to fall down the ultimate, going to get quite a bit of space, and you know, a bit of utility is going to have to be expended, of course, but space gathered right back, and the bot, guess where it's going? All the way back again.
I love this game mode. Isn't it so fun? It's so nice watching him go back and forth over and over and over again. But yeah, it's insane.
You know, I mean, as you pointed out, you know, like in terms of as well, like, and the further that the you know, the kind of the plank goes, for lack of a better word, you know, the further the bot does have to run back before it starts pushing. So the Wolfhounds, 50 seconds left, 2 ultimates online. Quite a lot for Pit Ponies to work with. They've got the armor, they've got the Dragon Blade. False, we've seen you do this so many times. Yeah, and no surprise there, as it does go in the Pit Ponies' favor. Oh, actually.
Oh, False is down, but oh no, suddenly I don't think wins that 1v1. It is looking all right. If they can stop the bot here, which they do, they successfully stop the bot. Now they keep it moving. They're in the position to maybe get it tied in overtime, but they have to go now. Oh, this is a big stagger here. Hopefully they can see. Oh, they just need to get it to that halfway point to reset their spawn, but they don't have it. Recaptured.
Coming back again.
Suddenly he's popping this ultimate. Needs to keep it going, and wait, they're getting C9'd. They got it back capped almost. Oh, that was so close.
But that's not going to be, I mean, it's close, but there is no cigar, as the ponies as well, they're going to be able to get that Pit Ponies down, and we are going to an escalation final map of this you know, first of 3, best of 5, and oh my days, you couldn't have asked for a closer series. This has been phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And you're looking at the way that this team has been playing it out, I gotta hand it to a lot of these two teams. So far, this has been the most competitive that I've actually seen. The Welsh Esports League Season 5 has been heating up here. And I gotta hand it to them. This is the closest game we've seen, especially now that we have the artist disqualified. Well, that means that we're gonna be seeing a lot more of this. So I'm happy that these best of 5s are going to 5 maps, because then I gotta warm up on my casting a little bit. This is a lot more than normal here for the Welsh Esports League, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there are no 3-0s here. This is absolutely going towards the end. It's escalation finally to kind of send us off. Now, if we've been mentioning myself kind of primarily about how scrappy both these teams have been playing in terms of you want scrappy. You know, other than some episodes of Scooby-Doo, you're not going to get scrappier than escalation to finish it off between these two teams. So we're going to have to see how they go. They have been meeting each other blow for blow, pound for pound. The ultimates have been coming out exactly when they've needed to. You know, every team fight basically has went absolutely to the limit. So if there's any way to send this off, I can't think of a better way than this.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the best map here for us. And honestly, I'm thinking, looking at these two teams, it's going to be New Junk City.
Oh,
so, yeah. And we saw Junkrats, Junker Queens. I want a Roadhog. Go full junk mode, all right? I want to see everybody. But with that being said, let's get on into this game. Let's find out if these two teams are ready to showcase what they can do. Weather. Please, for the love of God. I want to see that Ashe again. I just want to see that Ashe again. That Tracer disappointed me. I need to see that Ashe.
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of that, I think Weather may be getting told never swap off Ashe again, because when you're doing things like that, when you're like the Bob as well, like. And let's actually swing this back as well, because whether obviously, yes, the shots and everything were incredible, but Bob was creating so much space. Bob was being such a pain, you know, for the side of the ponies. They were really struggling with that damage. So, you know, it has absolutely been incredible to watch. We are seeing, you know, this pretty standard comps here. We've been seeing the last two matches, kind of no surprises here. One thing I want to very much elaborate quickly on is for anyone that is a bit newer to Overwatch or anything like that. So whenever we say trash damage is just what builds up the ults. You know, Pizza Lover, we're not really expecting to get frags, even though, to be honest, actually, he has been popping off. You know, we just expect the ult charge to be kind of brought up, and then, you know, for either mythical or suddenly to get the ult charge off that, or, you know, the rip tire to be coming through. So when we say trash damage, well, I think I've been the only one saying trash damage, so that's what I'm meaning.
True, and I gotta say, I miss the old days of Overwatch, back when we had medals that told us how much better we are than our teammates. Miss those. We've come such a long way, we really have. It's so much. But looking at this, though, false on that Genji's going to help out with the Lagala taken out as well. Gwyn, so much damage here, and now it's just going to be a little bit of a stagger after stagger after stagger. Weather is going to be opting to be dead on the Cassidy instead of on the Ashe. Pizza Lover, this is someone who really does enjoy, you know, you said Sojourn. I've only seen them on Junkrat for their main picks. They are a great Junkrat player, but on New Junk City, I'm thinking it's a little bit of a back and forth. But the Pit Ponies, full control over this point for now. And, you know, this is the newest game mode. So I'm thinking both of these teams are going to have a little bit of a struggle compared to what we've seen on the more traditional maps.
No, I would think so as well. And New Junk City as well. Like, I mean, like the absolute kind of choke points you have. It's no surprise that Pizza Lover is on the junk rat just with how kind of enclosed all of the points are. You know, there's obviously quite a bit of high ground advantage as well to be gained. No fighting is actually happening on the point. It's a beautiful fire strike from Ligo if they're to take down Lemon. That's quite a bit of healing down. Weather then going to follow up on a false. Very little HP. Not going to be able to walk away from that. Pizza Lover follows up, and yeah. Beautiful kills, beautiful win for the team fight there, and the fact that Wolfhounds continue to build this percentage lead is absolutely pivotal for them at this stage.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, percentage lead, that's exactly what they need, but I'm looking at their ultimate percentage lead as well. They are sitting on so much to push this team back on, and you look over at the Pit Ponies, who, unfortunately, is relying heavily on False again to get that piercing blow, but is the Dragon Blade going to be popped here? The answer will come shortly, as we do see Dominus starting us off with the Coalescence and the point slowly getting capped. But wait, Tire's coming up.
That's big. Oh my days, it's bigger. Oh my days, oh my days. It went from big to bigger to the biggest kind of pop off there. And that's going to be the first point going towards the side of the Wolfhounds. Very, very impressive stuff done with the elements.
Absolutely. And also, I just love Reinhardt on this map. So many of these doorways completely invalidated thanks to the width of his shield. And now on this next point, you have the high ground, low ground. It's now time to shine. I will say I want to see an ultimate getting popped here by False. We did not see the Dragon Blade early. And if they allow for the Wolfhounds to get an early grab back on this point, well, they're going to be having the same issues they had on the first choke.
No, agreed. And one thing, I mean, oh, beautiful use of the window there, followed up with a high noon pop. Pretty early, but doesn't matter. Oh my days, False returning the shot from the Peacekeeper into Weather's Dome. The sound barrier is being dropped. The Earth Shatter's coming through. The Dragon Blades, it does look like it's going to be getting a decent chunk of value. Not going to pick off enough itself, but with the follow-up from the remainder of the team, yeah, that's going to be the ponies very much controlling this side of the point. And one thing I want to just very quickly point out as well is we've seen False build up the Dragon Blade so often that, yeah, him sitting on that for much longer would have been pretty catastrophic.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is big. The Pit Ponies falling into the lead here on the second point is massive, considering how much investment the Wolfhounds was committing. Yep. And now, you look over at Pizza Lover. He's just going up front. Unfortunately, I still think this Junk Queen is going to be having an issue. An ultimate, though, comboed with Gwyn is all they need. Oh my god, it's just a massacre down Main Street. Not a single return to sender kill. Pit Ponies, all right. Game respect game.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch as the Pit Ponies make the Wolfhounds disappear. Holy, that was an absolutely pivotal. I mean, that you could not really ask for something cleaner. That was one ultimate plus a bit of utility, you know, just to completely shut down the fight. Wolfhounds didn't even get any ult charge, nothing. The knife trying to stop Lagalith from getting a touch there just to bait out the overtime, but not going to be enough, as now it's going to get incredibly... We mentioned scrappy. It's getting scrappy.
Here we go. Oh. Oh. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yeah. Just dribbling it. Beautifully played. And now with overtime here, it is going to move on over to the Wolfhounds control. What a great tire there from everybody. And a little stagger on a false, but they have more than enough time to try to get back on. 99% to 12%. Oh.
The teams, this is so evenly matched. This is ludicrous. This is ridiculous to witness. I mean, if you're both teams here, you must be getting a bit exhausted, even if it just is. Look at Weather's just trying to bait out. He's got deflected on by False once. He doesn't want to have it done again, but with the high noon and stuff online, you're gonna likely see that deflect again. So you know, if False can do it, the Dragon Blade nearly online as well. There's quite a lot of util. Here we go. The high noon comes through. What are we gonna see from it?
Oh, a lot of damage dealt, and that's going to help them take out this Junker Queen. A big change up there, but Dominus is enough damage here as well. Pizza Lover cleaning out of the house here, but again, it is still benefiting this attack. But now, Dragon Blade's out. It's time to slice. It's time to dice, and no, it finally only is good for 1-2. Huge from False, but are they going to be able to keep it going? Pizza Lover versus False, and False gets absolutely beamed through thanks to the Moira, but 99% versus 99, overtime of the ages. Lemon coming on in. The Lucio might be able to stop him, but no, it goes in the way of the Pit Ponies, and Weather just has to watch.
That's I'm not gonna lie, to be honest. I'm telling you, I know it's my job to tell you what just happened there. I can't tell you what just happened there. That was ludicrous. That was absolutely insanity from both sides. Very solid use of the Dragon Blade. They're very good movement from the side of False. Now swapping back over to that Tracer, which we did have our misgivings about, but maybe on Flashpoint going to be seeing quite a bit more kind of space gathered. Lemon with the Sound Barrier and the Death Blossom from Gwyn. Nothing to really stop it from the side of Wolfhounds.
Wow. Nothing to say about it, but now, wait a minute. Weather on the Tracer. This was a little bit disappointing last time, but we also see False on the Tracer. And let's see if they can trace their aim. Can they get the picks? Can they do the damage? A big wall, big window, and an ultimate to capitalize. But no, Lagalith takes him out too. Weather getting another. And they started off strong. Wolfhounds keeps it going. False just needs to get out. Oh, no.
Unless False did something absolutely magical there, which I'm not going to lie, from what we've seen from both of these, from both of these teams, any person can just come online. Like any person, we've both kind of been like, okay, that's it, that's the fight over, and then someone has just absolutely turned it on. So any person here has the potential to clutch. Anyone has the ability just to completely shut it down. We are seeing, the Pulse Ball comes through, not going to find anything just yet. The shield does fall from Lagalith, and this Ramatra is going to be very scary. Oh, here we go again. what happens as around the world, this tire goes.
Oh,
Nothing.
and it does damage. That's half of the Ramatra's HP, which will set them back and maybe even get him killed. Yeah, that's a dead Ramatra, and there's 3 players gone. Hey, False, it's your time to die as everybody is watching you. And wait a minute, False dashed into the trip. Oh, huge, 40-40. This is a close game. Oh, this is exactly what I want to be seeing here from the Welsh Esports Leagues. And if you guys want to see more Welsh Esports content, make sure to check out the Welsh Esports website, esportswales.org.
Very nice. Very, very damn nice from everyone. And now, I mean, yeah, the percentage is taken up. But yeah, that 40-40, it's so evenly matched. Everything just seems to go one way, then the other, then back swings to the, you know, like, there is no way to predict who's winning this, who's a bit more comfortable. That's a beautiful Earth Shatter. I think that does actually, that shuts down the sound barrier, I'm pretty sure. That's insane from Lagalith. Incredible work as the Wolfhounds are going to just shut down the pit ponies. And from that, 2-1, last flashpoint online. Lemon, that is heartbreaking to lose the sound barrier like that. But if you are Lagalith, you are absolutely on top of the world after that.
Beautifully played by this tank. I mean, yeah, we might be only seeing Reinhardt come out from Lagalith, but God, is it a good Rein. Now, in this final point, it's going to be the cage match here. Oh, this is going to be so nice to see who's going to come out on top, as we have now 3 ultimates online for the Wolfhounds, 2 ready, almost 3. Dominus is going to want to pop that Coalescence immediately, and look at that. We do see the Kiriko trying to now push them back. The Coalescence getting wasted up against the wall, and it's not doing enough. Dominus can't find the value, and now we see the Ramatra keeping it going, but the damage is good enough to keep him off the point. That's Pit Ponies grabbing it for the first choke, and suddenly is gone. Dominus will be able to come out on top. So much investment, though, as only 1 ultimate from Wolfhounds, while we have the entire Pit Ponies just using all that they have.
Only Death Blossom online for the ponies, as you said, but we've got the Riptire, we've got the Coalesce from the side of the Wolfhounds. We're gonna be seeing Lagaleth's Earth Shatter probably online for this next fight. The percentage for the ponies not particularly relevant. The Wolfhounds aren't quite panicking yet. This is, of course, match point or control point for the side of Wolfhounds. They just need to get this space one more time, but they can give it up should they so wish. Ponies can't afford to give anything else up, and they will use the Blossom to try and cement this. Weather's good for 1, but the frags are just going to be very solid from the ponies. Again, nothing really committed though from the Wolfhounds.
Wow. And if there's nothing committed now, it's going to be the Pit Ponies maybe tying us up here for something a little close. But we still have that Riptide, we're still at that Coalescence, and we're actually really close to having a Shatter. So, I don't know. There's nothing they can do to stop the Shatter if we don't have this Ramatra perfectly time his shield.
Oh my days, I wasn't sure if that overtime was going to get reset. That was scary. That was scary.
Pizza Lover, almost dead. And there's the Shatter. This is the hold back. They are not dumb enough to C9, and this should be able to do some damage. Wait, are you? Yeah, away.
The complete unsurety. We're not sure exactly how it's going. The frags are just going either way right now. It's all down to you, Falls, I think, just to kind of bait this through. But Wolfhounds are finally going to take some control over this. And the cage match, we're only halfway done. The ponies up to 99%, and the Wolfhounds now have to try and get up to that themselves.
I think they could do it, though. They didn't use any ultimates besides the Shatter in that last fight, which means they're waiting all the way to the last second. And if it does come down to an overtime battle, a Riptire can force everybody off that point and completely stagger this game into the hands of the Wolfhounds to end it outright. But Pit Ponies, they do have one thing up their sleeve. It's Dominus's Coalescence, and it's also False now rocking the Cassidy here to maybe try to slow Weather down. I mean, that could be the main counter they need. But no,
oh my
using this so early.
This is early. Can we see much from that? It's going to completely go through. It's a very greedy tire.
I guess it helped the damage output to make sure that the Ramatra fell down, but it's so early that there will be enough time for a reset for the Pit Ponies.
Yeah, there will. No, I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I mean, there was a lot of damage put through there from Pizza Lover, absolutely. But yeah, no, as you said, there should be one more fight online. The ponies don't have any ultimates though. Kitsune Rush and the Pulse Bomb online for the Wolfhound. So in theory, this should be going their way for the last fight. But we'll have to wait and see. That's a beautiful pick to start us off.
Here we go. Big pick. Kitsune Rush now online. Weather getting a two-piece down. And this is why you wanted to see that Cassidy start popping off. But now in overtime, the ultimates are just still favoring Wolfhounds. There's nothing they can do. And it's over. Unless the Tracer. Can you get it? False.
Oh,
You got it. No.
tragedy. And Lemon falls as well. Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
we have your winners. I'm not gonna lie, the game stopped for a second there, and I was like, have I forgotten how many points escalation was? I was like, wait a minute, have we been hyping this up and the match is still going? That was incredibly well done. Very, very nicely played.
Wow. And honestly, looking at the way the play of the game was, everybody in this match did beautifully. And Gwen, you deserve that POTG, but at the end of the day, it was a hard fought best of 5, which now sets us up with our final things to say. So honestly, I gotta hand it to these teams. They showcase why they are here in the Welsh Esports League, what they can do, and that there is contention for the new first place spot with a lot of developments today. The Artists no longer here. The Pirates may be coming back. We don't quite know yet. So stick around in the Welsh Esports League if you do want to find out more information. Make sure you guys are in the Discord, because I do know we are a very, very vocal community. But any final thoughts from you? Anything that we need to ponder on for next week?
Fear, just fear the Ash in Weather's hands. Fear every member of both of these teams. Incredibly, incredibly well played. Just want to point out in terms of like the, the bracket and stuff going in. So that'll be, the Wolfhounds now are going to be the top of their bracket because of that. That was, to kind of go against the ponies as well. Very closely played. We are seeing it. Here we go, just beneath us. But yeah, incredibly solid stuff. Edu, it was an absolute pleasure, man. Thanks. That that was a bunch of fun, and I cannot wait for more.
I can't wait either, but unfortunately, you guys might have to wait. Remember, every single week we have Welsh Esports League content for tons of different games. If you can name a game that has an esports scene, there is a Welsh Esports run of it going on right now here at the Welsh Esports League Season 5. Again, shout out to our production team. Shout out to everybody behind the scenes. Of course, we had an amazing observer, Judas. We had here Kashi on the main production stage, as well as ZJL Gaming. So with that being said, thanks again for watching, and we will see you again here next week.